Hello everyone, it's Jade and welcome to my Married at First Sight UK Spill the Wine episode. Yes, wine, not tea. This requires Pinot Grigio. As I'm sure many of you might know, I was in the finals to be on this season of Married at First Sight. Unfortunately, I never heard back from them after the very final round of going to the producers and stuff. I had all my video interviews, but it didn't go ahead. So I thought it would be hilarious to watch this season and kind of recap the episodes and dissect every episode, see who do I think I would have been paired with, if anyone. I think that maybe they didn't find me a match. I don't know, because the people on this season, like a big over. Married at First Sight is something that I am really passionate about. I do love this show. It's my reality television guilty pleasure, as is like Love Island, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, all of them. I will be there for all of them. However, we have a lot of couples to talk about today, so let's dive in to the one couple that I think everyone is talking about. As soon as you mention that you are watching Married at First Sight, everyone's like, Whitney and Duca. I mean, for God's sake, I don't care how tragic your backstory is. Yes, it's horrific. Your mum dying tragically in this horrible car accident, never coming home. I get it. I feel for you. I sympathise. But is that any reason whatsoever for you to be such an entitled little brat? No, brat is a nice word. She's a bitch. To me, Whitney is the morag of this season. Right from the off, during the wedding ceremony, the disrespect, the way that she was causing such a scene while they were doing their vows, I was like, I felt so sorry for Duca, for his dad, because I mean, seriously. It was literally as though Whitney was repulsed by him. She just had this sour, deadpan expression. I feel like her behaviour was totally unacceptable. People have said that they think that she's just there for the fame and the television, but I don't actually think that's the case, because in the commitment ceremony, she did choose to leave, whereas Duca said stay. And I'm like, if you were here for the fame, you would want to carry this on for as long as possible, but she did want to leave, so I'll give her that. I think she's genuinely just a really horrid person. That being said, I can kind of see where she's coming from with Duca a little bit. I mean, I think she's going a bit OTT, but I can see that he is a bit of a performer. He is a showman. To me, he is too slick, too calm in front of the cameras, but I can see why he would snap off of camera with all of those horrible little remarks she keeps making. I mean, she is just pushing and pushing and pushing him. Funnily enough, I found myself kind of not warming to Whitney, but one of the other contestants asked her before the commitment ceremony, if you knew that Duca was in it for the right reasons, would you be more into him? And you could physically see her soften on camera in that moment. I don't know if that was all for show, but she literally just softened as she said yes. But then she still chose to leave because she just does not believe that he is in it for the right reasons whatsoever. I think she's clearly got massive trust issues. She's been really badly hurt. She doesn't want to let people in case they, they disappear from her life again, which it's a trauma. It's terrible, and I feel sorry for her for that. But she needs to open up to this process if she wants any chance of it, and let down those walls, because I mean, fucking hell, they are sky high. It felt nice in that one little moment to see her mask slip. But overall, I think that she is judgmental and rude. I don't think there's any saving this couple. And to be honest, I think that it's Duca that's there for the fame and whatever this is going to bring him for the future, because why would you stay after all that he's endured over this past week? No. I mean, A, she's petrifying. B, she's awful. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I have no idea what the next week is going to bring, but am I going to be watching it? Yes. Whitney and Duca are like reality television gold. They're awful, but you just can't help but sit there with your popcorn, your glass of wine, and be like, oh my God. And then we have George and April. Now, George is 40 years old. He's a financial advisor. He's got 4 kids. 4 kids. April, 32, 2020 Miss Britain. Doesn't know if she really wants kids. Are they a great match? I don't know. Everyone keeps saying that they look aesthetically perfect together. I don't see it. I do wonder if Little Miss Britain is in it for the right reasons. I mean, she's, many years ago, I believe she was on The Bachelor. She was also on a TV show called Cabins, or whatever it's called, where people get matched and like get put into a cabin together. I think she's just trying to get onto all of the television shows, if I'm honest. I used to really like April, I think, but seeing her pop up again and again and again on all of these different dating shows, bit sus. Once again, we've got all the sad backstories. April only has her father, she used to have anorexia. George's family, absolutely hilarious. His mum and is it his auntie, as he told them what he was going to do, the show he was going to go on, with their Prosecco, and they're like, boom, and they both put it down at the same time, and that was gold. I really hope we see more of them because it's just hilarious. And then the mum goes and breaks the Prosecco glass because she's like slams it down so hard, or like grabs it because she's like, what the fuck is my son doing with his life? I'll say in the beginning, I was really hopeful for this couple. They had probably the best of the weddings out of all of them. The venue looked incredible, but then they went on their honeymoon and April kissed another girl. And I mean, as George said, he woke up cold and numb. Talk about a drama king. To me, George is more of a drama king than Thomas is in this season, but we'll get to Thomas later. If you are in a hot tub and you are playing a dare game, truth or dare, or whatever it was that they were playing, kissing a girl's not that bad. He made it seem like she went and shagged someone on their honeymoon, someone else, not him, and he lost the plot. Yeah, his insecurity is astounding to me. I feel like he is triggered very easily. Lo and behold, April wants some space. Now I know, I mean, if I was with someone as insecure as George, I'd want space too. But when you sign up for a TV show, Married at First Sight, you have to know going in, this is an experiment where you are forced together and you've got to try and make it work as a married couple. You don't get that time apart because you are there on camera together 24/7. So did she even know what she was signing up for? I don't know. So April is a wedding dress designer. Right. Personally, her wedding dress that she designed herself on her wedding day, bless her. It's like all the meshy netting stuff, whatever it's called. It was just like, ooh. I just thought as a wedding dress designer she'd have something a little prettier than what she got. It was almost like she had a couple of, maybe a week or two to design the dress and it didn't fit properly. I don't know, it just... Jenna and Zoe. On to the next couple. Jenna and Zoe, the very first lesbian couple that we have on Married at First Sight. Now, I think that this couple is quite genuine. The only massive difference and possible problem I can see occurring is the veganism thing. So we've got Jenna, who has alopecia, she's a zero waste vegan, and I feel like she got exactly what she asked for. She asked for a more masculine woman, whereas Zoe, who is a masculine woman, asked for someone more feminine, and she even said that, you know, she felt really relieved when she heard the heels coming down when they were getting married. They are clearly super attracted to each other. They've already done it. Ooh. The alopecia side of this I thought was really glazed over. What was the main concern for Zoe seemed to be Jenna's veganism. She can't have eggs, she can't have eggs, she can't have eggs. I do find that Zoe's really funny though. The whole, you know, they go out and she orders the lamb and she's like, oh God forbid I have it medium rare. I was speaking to a friend about this and we have really different opinions on who is more funny about the situation. So I think that it's Jenna that is kind of, she said that everyone she encounters eventually does turn into a vegan. And I think, yeah, you know, she said herself that secretly she does want that person to be a vegan eventually. Zoe has said very loud and proud she will never consider it. She loves her meat too much. And I totally get that. I was vegan for a little while and yes, I think there are great benefits. I felt great. My skin looked amazing. I lost weight. It was wonderful. But at the end of the day, your girl loves a McDonald's and she loves a blue steak. I kind of thought it was more Jenna being a bit touchy about the whole vegan subject and her ordering meat and saying like, oh, well, you should have gone for the beans, not the lamb. And Zoe kind of was like, oh, well, I'm gonna order what I want, you know, I'm not gonna change. And I feel like if veganism was something really important to Jenna, she should have said that to the experts. I do feel like this couple's going to go far. I think they are already kind of maybe questioning their compatibility a little bit, but at the same time, I think that the way that they handle these situations is quite mature. They have open communication, and yeah, I think that we might see a good outcome from these two. Okay, now going on to Thomas and Adrian, the next couple in this experiment. I must say that I am really loving the diversity and the inclusion in this season. However, Thomas and Adrian, they are polar opposites. What were the matchmakers, experts, thinking? You tell me, because I got no fucking idea. It's like they were just like, okay, you'll go, let's put you together and see what happens. I mean, they are like a volcano waiting to erupt. Something fucking high on the Richter scale of earthquakes. Just because they both like penis and they want monogamy does not mean they're well suited for each other, please. Thomas is, I'm sorry, he's really aggressive. He's a lot. He's loud, he's this mental health assistant, but it kind of reminds me of like Nikita 2.0. Adrian is polar opposite. He is so chilled out. I'm like, I do feel it's really sad to see Adrian's character kind of shrinking as Thomas's character gets louder and louder and louder, but I kind of understand what that feels like, because for instance, I mean, as I said, I was going to go onto the show, and watching the women on this season, they've all got such big characters. They're all quite like vocal and outspoken and loud and opinionated. I mean, I am in front of, you know, my little ring light and my little camera set up when I film my videos, but if I was around all those women, I would drown. Honestly, just drown. They would just overwhelm me so much. I think I would just shrink into myself, and that's exactly what Adrian's been doing. He's just not been able to, you know, say anything. He can't get a fucking word in edgewise. However, the last episode that we saw, the commitment ceremony, I loved Adrian's comments, where, you know, the whole eruption happened with Whitney. Adrian was like, oh yeah, there's Thomas, there he goes. He hasn't had attention for 10 minutes, so now he's gonna have a shit bit. I was like, yes, clap. I did kind of feel for Thomas in certain aspects though, such as at the wedding, Adrian's best friend, what was her name, Katie or whatever, oh my goodness, he was just bombarded with question after. I don't know if that was just like the edits of the show doing it super cleverly, but and I get that like Adrian was like, you know what, like my mum's not here, and she kind of felt like it was her role to ask you those questions, and clearly she was not supportive of this union. That was some sort of interrogation. Like, you could have literally just tied him to a chair with his hands behind his back and just started firing things at him. That was brutal. I mean, I think that Thomas kind of has the crazy eyes, if I'm being very honest, and you can tell he was getting like really worked up by all these questions, but I mean, I would be too. Compared to, say, April's best friend, who took George outside for a chat and was kind of singing April's praises and being really supportive and kind, Adrian's best friend was scary. Another couple that have decided to stay for another week in the experiment, I don't hold much hope for them. I don't think they're well suited, but only time will tell. Jess and PJ. I feel at this rate I could be an expert on this show. I mean, how many thousands of people probably apply, right? Take two people who mention Harry Potter and be like, oh, he mentioned Harry Potter, she mentioned Harry Potter, you know, just a passing comment. But there we go, they are destined to be together. Sealed. How do they get paid for this? The rest of them couldn't be further mismatched if I tried it. The poor girl, Jess, I mean, yes, she's a crybaby. She hasn't handled this situation very well whatsoever. She has a horrible story though. I mean, I had a backstory too on when I was going to go onto it. My ex-fiance shagged my maid of honour and got her pregnant just before our wedding day. Jess went downstairs and I think she caught like her ex shagging her father's ex-wife on the kitchen counter. Ouch. So the experts were like, oh, let's just pair her with the one guy that, yeah, he likes the world of witchcraft and wizardry, but he's also a stripper. And I think that the mum had a really valid point where she was like, yeah, so she's going to be sitting at home and you're going to be getting oiled up by a bunch of women who's screaming your name and you're going to be shoving your dick in their face. I can kind of see why she doesn't want that. I've been cheated on. It's not fun. It's a huge trigger, and I think for her own mental health, this would be a terrible relationship. That being said, I understand that, you know, being a dancer or a performer, it is a job, and she's not respecting him in the slightest. I think that the show is portraying that she is just so against what he does for a living, rather than focusing on the fact that it's something that triggers her own insecurities and anxiety. Their honeymoon, I mean, she says that it's just friend vibes or whatever, which I get, but if you can't fall in love in a place like the Maldives, which is just like my dream vacation, you're screwed, you're fucked. In my opinion, she needs to loosen up and embrace the experiment. Take, for instance, while they're in the Maldives, there's this whole scene where they need to go snorkeling with some sharks. And yeah, they make those sharks look pretty damn big. I don't know 100%, but I'm fairly certain that they are black-tip reef sharks. Since 1959, there have been 11 unprovoked attacks by black-tip reef sharks on humans. Furthermore, I don't think that the television crew, the producers, anyone would put those people in the water if there was any chance or fear of anything happening to them. So, slightly melodramatic. I am gonna throw it out there and say, if PJ actually does like her, which I think he does, he's going to make a plan to change his job. Then I think that she is going to slowly take down those walls. She is going to slowly learn to trust him. And I feel like they might be the power couple. Besides, I mean, Chinisa and Jordan, who I don't really have much to say about them because they're just perfection. There's nothing really to rant and rave about them on, besides Jordan being a mummy's boy. They just seem really genuine, really sweet. I think they are the only proper match that the experts got right. And I loved when Chinita went up to him and gave him a hug during the wedding speeches when he brought up his nan and he had a little bit of a tear. And she just seems really supportive and kind-hearted. And yeah, that couple, I don't have more to say about them besides I feel really like heartwarmed whenever they come on. She seems lovely. I didn't really like Jordan at first. I thought he was a bit of like a Jack the Lad, but he's growing on me a little bit. Not really my type, but she is so sweet and I think that they're going to go really far. Then we've got Lara and Bilbo Baggins. Oh, sorry, not Bilbo, Richie. What is going on with this couple? Please tell me. Lara, right, she flips burgers, she's had it rough, she's had a couple of divorces, she's got some kids. Richie, he used to be in this band called Dare. He did backing vocals, he did a bit of guitar. He's all about the sex, drugs and rock and roll. I'm so sorry, I just kind of feel like Lara wanted someone, I know that she said that she wanted like an indie rocker, right, but I think that she wanted someone a bit more stable to finally take care of her, to kind of lift her feet up, give her a foot massage and be like, don't worry, I got you. She's got someone that she needs to mother the fuck out of. This dude's never even been in love. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like looking at her after like a couple of days like, he is obsessed. Like, you know, like Joe from You by Caroline Kepnes, the book or the You TV show on Netflix. That is Richie. He is fucking obsessed. Talk about clingy. I get like in the beginning, you know, he was like, yeah, no, like taking on like kids is a lot and stuff. But I mean, if you're in your 50s, what are the chances? I'm sorry. I mean, I was single a little while ago and when I was on all the dating apps and stuff, literally, I think there was 1 in 20 men that in the age bracket that I wanted that didn't have kids. And I'm sorry, I was just at that stage in my life where I just felt for once I wanted to be number one. I've dated men in the past with children and it was wonderful. I got along with them amazingly. I can't wait to have kids of my own. But I knew at this stage of my life, if I could help it, I would want someone that doesn't have a child and that I could just have a relationship just with them and grow that and then eventually have our own children. If you're 50, 60, you probably have a kid more often than not. I'd say like 1 in 5 at least, probably more. However, I do think at the wedding that Lara's son and Richie did bond. They had the, you know, the bass guitar conversation and he seemed to really warm to him and be like, okay, I'm kind of on board for this now. Like, you seem okay. The family all seemed, you know, to get along really well. I thought maybe they'd be a great match, but the longer that I see them on TV together, the more awkward I feel. Like, Richie is so smothering. It's ridiculous. Like, take your hands off her for 2 seconds. Let her fucking breathe. Also, I don't know if anyone else picked this up, right? But he said the words, "I got what I ordered." I think that he might be quite into Married at First Sight as Married at First Sight as a show, and that he picked up that Morag from a previous season had said, "I didn't exactly get what I ordered," and yeah, I think that he did like a little reference to that, saying, "Oh yeah, I got what I ordered." Is he just in it for the more fame of his band and stuff? Because then when it came to the commitment ceremony, he was like, "I've written stay." You know, he had to just do that little belter in there to show that he could sing because he used to be a backup vocalist. Sus. Last couple that we will talk about today is Kasha and Kwame. Bing bang bosh. These guys are totally on a friendship level. I don't really have much more to say. I mean, they are so mismatched. Kwame clearly wants someone more petite, whereas Kasha wants someone bigger. I think that Kasha is, you know, she's ready to dive on in. She wants her husband. She wants to swing off the chandeliers and boink the night away. Kwame is not ready, and I don't know if it's that he would be ready if he'd been matched with someone more suited to him, but I do not see this couple working at all. And I know that Kasha was like, "Oh yeah, no, we've never had a fight and stuff," but you know, he went to pour a drink and she was like, "Oh, you know, thanks for pouring me one." And he was like, "Yeah, deal with it." I'm sorry, if someone said that to me, deal with it. Like, I'd be like, "I'm sorry, we're about to fight, mate." It was just rude. It's called being caring to your partner. Whenever I get up off the sofa when me and my partner are just chilling and watching TV, I always ask, "Do you want anything? Can I get you a juice? Can I get you a beer? Can I get you this?" It's just, you know, if I'm getting up, I'm on my way there. Do you want something? I do not envision these guys lasting very long at all. But only time will tell, and that is all I have for you today from this season of Married at First Sight. But I will be back very soon with more of my not so humble opinions. Let me know if you enjoyed this. A little bit different for something on my channel, but I'm having fun with it. Married at First Sight is always something that I love, I adore, I talk about it all the time. It's nice to just have a chat about a television show that's on at the minute, and just, I like to see, leave in the comments down below who your favourite couples are, your thoughts, your opinions, who you think is just absolutely atrocious together. Winnie and Duka, Kwame and Kasha. Oh yeah, probably all of them. Oh, I'm too funny, aren't I? Anyway, talk to you all next time. Bye.